Hello, hello. I've got some more playoff action here. This is a Division D set, semifinal set. We got a matchup between the 1 seed MCM and the 4 seed the Nameless. So last night I casted a set from Division B, Berserker Game versus Cot onto Division D here. So this will be a best of 5. Game 1 on Arabia, and then 2 home maps apiece for the teams. MCM banning Gold Pit, Nameless banning Sakatra. MCM picking Scandinavia and Team Islands. And the Nameless picking Arena and African Clearing. So with that in mind, let's take a quick look at the Civs. We got a Britain's ban and a Goths ban. Britain's, as I've mentioned many times, the most banned Civ in this tournament. The trend continues. The Goths, I'm actually not sure why the Goths were banned here. We're looking at Scandinavia, Islands, Arena, and African Clearing. So, yeah, not sure what map Nameless had in mind when they banned that. But in any case, let's look. Yeah, we're probably thinking Franks, Ethiopians for Arabia, Portuguese, Saracens, Islands, Spanish, Mongols, Scandinavia, maybe Sicilians and Khmer for African Clearing. And then Koreans, Teutons for Arena. That would be my guess. On the other side, maybe Berbers, Mayans, Arabia, Indians, Cumans, perhaps for African Clearing, Italians, Byzantine for Islands, Japanese for Scandinavia with maybe Malians, maybe Chinese. And then what about Arena? It's got to be Bohemians for Arena. Yeah, not sure what the other Arena Civ would be, but in any case, let's get to the action. To the games we go. Game 1, Arabia. MCM versus the Nameless. Best of 5. Only 4 teams remain in the division. The winner goes to the finals. All right, for MCM, we've got Mr. F4 in the red playing as Ethiopians, teamed up with Chidwick in the yellow playing as the Sicilians. Okay, so the Sicilians, they will not be used for African Clearing. They will be for Arabia. Over on the other side, we've got Lascaris playing as the Berbers, teamed up with Trashmaster playing as the Mayans. So let's take a quick peek at the map generation here. So for Trashmaster, yeah, this is pretty good. You got back gold, pretty safe berries. You could just wall to the TC here, I think. Wall to the TC there. Maybe even just wall to the TC right out in front of the berries. And just work with, yeah, I think that's probably the play there. Lascaris' map. Forward gold, back berries. The two of those good wood lines are out front, so a bit exposed. But at least you've got a Cav player on the other side as well. Map over here for Chidwick. Berries are forward, gold's a bit exposed. Yeah, that's a tough map to wall. This wood line corrupted with the Oasis. And then finally taking a look at Mr. F4's map. Gold's a bit forward, but you could probably just put your production buildings up here. A little awkward to wall out on this side. I think you maybe just... Yeah, how do you wall this? You just wall to the TC here. Wall to the TC here. That's probably the easiest way to go. Alright, Trashmaster bringing in his last set of sheep. And it looks like the players are now starting to scout. Mr. F4 heading out toward Trashmaster's base. What about on this side? Yeah, looks like Lascaris going forward as well. Oops, 2 deer actually haven't brought in yet for Chidwick. That might be a nice steal for Lascaris. Actually, no, he's not moving out. He's just continuing to push deer. All right, Mr. F4 getting in close to the TC. Let's hope he notices the house. No! He's going to lose the scout. For shame, for shame. All right, so, yeah, certainly don't think we'll see men-at-arms now, if we ever were, with the scout out of action. So this will presumably be straight archers from the Ethiopians player. And yeah, Trashmaster won't mind that result. The Trashmaster actually has 2 sets of deer that are pushable. He could even push that second set of deer if he were to locate it. And yeah, let's see what time these players go up. I think I remember, if I recall correctly, the last time I casted MCM, I think they went with the same Civ combo on Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they had pretty good success with it. I can't remember now. But it's ringing a bell. All right, no one up quite yet. We've got Loom on the way for both the players on the MCM and for Lascaris. Oh, here we go. Lascaris on the way up. 21 pop scouts. Yeah, looks like it will be straight archers for both of our archer players. For both Trashmaster and Mr. F4. And some early walling here from Chidwick. Chidwick going up at 21 pop. 21 pop as well for Mr. F4, or it would be if not for the dead scout. All right, dropping a lumber camp. I don't think he realizes that that wood line is corrupted by the Oasis. I think, were he to know that, he probably would have preferred to wall over here. Although understandably concerned about archers ranging the wood line. But this thing will, that's going to dry up on him pretty quickly. All right, and Trashmaster, yep, walling the way we thought he might here. Going with those smaller walls. And yeah, do a little wall here, wall there, and then wall out in front of the berries. Be probably a good way to go. And I like the walls from yellow here as well. All right, Lascaris will be the first one up ever so slightly. See where he opts to drop that stable. All right, right there. Stable going down. And stable actually being slightly delayed here for Chidwick by Lascaris. Just giving those Vills a couple love taps. Stable going up right there. And I like the base layout. Chidwick, I think, is going to work on trying to get walled all the way to that wood line to eventually secure the gold. And, oh, okay. I was mistaken. We still did get men-at-arms coming out here for Mr. F4. Or maybe just a single militia drush. Yeah, maybe I missed another militia being cleaned up here. So at the very least, this will at least give Mr. F4 some scouting intel. I don't know how that militia managed to survive getting hit by that TC. But he did. So, yep, one range blacksmith. So Mr. F4 intends to move out quite quickly. The worry, though, is that he's going to be moving up against 2 range archer production. So we shall see. Yeah, Trashmaster camping out. Keeping an eye on things right there. Second range coming down here for Mr. F4. And what about on this side? Scouts are on the move. Chidwick inside Lascaris' base, but only with 1.5 scouts there. This militia is being a little bit of a pest. Trashmaster will be almost full walled here. The problem is he is up against archers, so these walls here aren't going to help that much. If archers do come around, they will be able to range that wood line, no problem. All right, Chidwick and Lascaris just dancing around here with the scouts. Both players working on getting walled. Chidwick will be walling all the way to the edge of the map there. And yeah, presumably the same for Lascaris. All right, these scouts will definitely get in here. That's not going to be walled in time. And let's see how Lascaris responds. Does he come back with his scouts? Ooh, he's going to get a Vil pick here. But there's going to be a Vil pick. Whoa. Yep, 1 Vil down. Lascaris hasn't noticed yet. I think busy microing his scouts up on this end. Ooh, gets the wall down just in time. Can he get it on this side as well? Yes, he does. Really nicely done there. All right, we got action on this side as well. Trashmaster engaged with Mr. F4. Fletching is not yet in for Trashmaster. It is in for F4, so that's a big advantage for him. And yeah, it's so hard with the gray to see where the scouts are. I keep having trouble locating. Nice quick walls there by Chidwick. He's got to be careful not to lose another Wallingville here. Does have 2 spears out, though, so that will buy him some time. And yeah, Trashmaster will be fine here. He's still got enough archers to deal with what's at his gate. Ooh, spears are not anywhere near the scouts right now, so the scouts jumping on the barriers. They get 1 Vil kill. Oh, they're going to get another one here as well. So this is looking really good right now for the Nameless, although they only have a 2 Vil lead at this point. Yeah, so Chidwick forced to go back to try to clean this up, and Vils are still going down all over the place. That spear hasn't gotten in the action yet. Scout should be able to clean it, no problem. Let's see if this Vil gets away. Nope, she will not. All right, I think these archers are now going to move over to Lascaris' base, and they could definitely get some great damage there. I think that is definitely the play here. All right, Chidwick jumping on those scouts. Pretty even HP numbers at the moment. And yeah, I think Lascaris makes the right call there and just tries to get out of the base. Ooh, actually gets trapped in. Well, still a few scouts running around there. Enough to be a pest, but not enough to do a lot of damage. But over here, I like this decision here by Mr. F4, moving out toward Lascaris' base. Lascaris will not have any way to deal with that. He'll need to have Trashmaster come out, and look at that. Trashmaster already aware of what's up. Already sending reinforcements that way. And these archers, this is probably fortunate for Lascaris moving to the north end as opposed to the unwalled southern end. Might be able to get a Vil or 2 here on the wood line. Oh, the wood line's open. Oh, no. Disaster. 3 Vils down, 4 Vils down. A deleted house for nothing, and all the deleted house did was end up letting the archers into the base. Oh, no. Oh, disaster. So MCM actually taking a villager lead there briefly. Military numbers are identical. But fortunately for Nameless, Trashmaster's archers are here. And they'll come clean this up here. Oh, that was painful. Yeah, I didn't even notice the overchop before it happened. Lascaris. Let's see, yeah, heading back to that wood line with those villagers. So a lot of idle time here for him. Trashmaster will be able to click up here, but Chidwick already has the food he needs. Chidwick will be going up. Lascaris a long way off. So this attack, even if even if he hadn't gotten the 4 villagers he'd gotten, this would have been an effective attack. But there is a 5th Vil down, a nice split with the archers. And they will finally be cleaned here by Trashmasters. Trashmaster gets a really nice jump on those, but the damage has been done. And I think by the time that army gets in position to counterattack, there will be knights on the field. Although actually Trashmaster the first to click up, so I think the play is go straight now to Chidwick. Try to get over here to time it with Expo. And if you can get a jump in before there's a significant knight mass, I think Nameless could deal critical damage to the Cav player here. So let's see how Chidwick plays this. Presumably going to add a second stable here unless he wants to go for the really greedy approach and play this with 1 stable. We shall see. But in any case, Trashmaster is moving out that way. He has a second group over here. And I think, yeah, he's got to be, I think he he needs to be careful to hold these numbers. Don't throw these away. He'll have Expo a long time before Mr. F4. Could have a significant tech advantage. If he can keep these numbers alive, that will be really important. I might be able to get a kill or two here on the wood line. Instant reaction from Chidwick. Nicely done by him. And here comes Expo. All right, second stable going down there for Chidwick. Chidwick is up. And yeah, I don't think the Nameless is going to be able to get that much damage in. Maybe if they had gone straight for the gate and were able to get a jump on the gold, they could have crippled that early night production. But as it is, I think Chidwick will probably be okay here. All right. 20 seconds for Expo. So at this point, I think if you're Trash Master, start moving forward with those units. Because with good micro, you should be able to engage with those archers, no problem. All right, the Expo are in, and they're on the gold. So actually, this is looking pretty good for the Nameless. Aren't a lot of numbers, so if Chidwick can just buy some time and get some night numbers out, although he's only got the +1 armor. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to afford the +2 and additional night production being off of gold. Does he have access to a secondary gold source at the moment? He does not. He's got his other 2 gold mines way out here. It's a great positioning right now for the Nameless. Really nice positioning for the Nameless. Defensive tower up for Mr. F4, so these archers not able to get a lot of value at the moment. And that did buy enough time for Mr. F4 to get to Expo himself. Expo will be in pretty soon here.
Ow.
But this is great. Just no wood, no gold to be had at all for Chidwick right now. Nameless with a 6 vil advantage, almost 20 military unit advantage. Numbers advantage for Trash Master, but he's at the bottom of the hill and against Ethiopians. Does have that second armor and only 10 seconds away from ballistics.
Ow.
Not sure who's going to take this fight. Looking like it should be a clean here for MCM. Yeah, it will be. That Ethiopian fire bonus is pretty sweet to have access to. But ooh, look at this. Ballistics coming in real handy. A bunch of Vils go down there for Mr. F4. 12 Vil advantage down for the Nameless. And this should be a decent fight as well for Trash Master. I think he's happy with that trade. He's on 2 TC. His opponent just now getting a second TC. So as long as you're not falling behind in military, you should be getting ahead in economy. Although, only 1 TC at the moment for Lascaris. And a lot of farms here for Chidwick, but he needs to get back on gold. Okay, does have access to some gold there. All right, Mr. F4 finally cleaning the group of archers from Trash Master, but immediately Trash Master coming in from behind, although right under the tower. Oh, gives his position away. He's actually going to camp the tower. Yeah, and he can range the gold from there. That's a nice call. I think that's a nice call. Actually, he's not going to camp the tower. He's just going to keep on diving into the base here. Has the numbers to engage those archers. Ballistics for Trash Master. No ballistics for Mr. F4. Who is eating some TC fire. So right now, ooh, a lot of TC fire there. Alright, Mr. F4 has some reinforcements returning from the front lines. Should be able to, oh, well, yeah, having that ballistics, man, makes a big difference. Third TC coming down here for Trash Master, but this is my worry here. Only 1 TC right now for the Cav player. Meanwhile, 3 for the Cav player on MCM. And ooh, forward siege. Yeah, but the night production is going to be... Chidwick's going to have pretty good night production here. I don't know if siege is going to be that viable at this point. We shall see, though. All right, Lascaris coming in with some night numbers of his own. Still only +1 armor on Chidwick's Knights, so at the moment they are pretty useless against Expo. Alright, if you're Trash Master here, at what point do you think about just trying to get to Imperial Age to get Arbalest? Not sure what the best decision is here. And right now, looks like, yeah, floating a lot of gold here. Only 15 on food though, so I think probably invest in a few more farms. And I also think, ooh. Trash Master going with 2 vills to take some of Mr. F4's gold. Lascaris jumping on the archers of F4's right under the TC. He's got +2 armor though, so he can get away with it. Look at the idols right now for Mr. F4. He's in a bad way, although still has a 10 vill lead on Lascaris, who continues with the 1 TC play. Is Berbers, so yeah, was he looking at 3 stable? No, just 2 stable, I think. Getting a lot of vill kills here though, down to 56 vills. Siege coming forward, so these ranges are going to fall. That is going to be a problem here for Mr. F4. His teammate is going to Boomtown, but so too is Trash Master. Trash Master with a nice boom behind this. Trash Master, man. You have a market, sell some gold. Yeah, 2,500. Get some food, get to Imp. And then just go flatten Chidwick here. Chidwick continuing with the nice boom. He's got a really healthy food eco. 38 farms compared to 23 for the Berbers player. Mr. F4, yeah, 15 on stone. Desperate to get a castle to halt this push. What would be the best place for a castle? What? You delete that house, put it right here, I think? And you protect the gold, protect this wood. Protect your farming eco as well. It's probably your best bet. Alright, Lascaris now moving to drop that second TC. Also looking for a counterattack here on Chidwick. Only 17 military on the field right now for MCM, so Nameless, they look like they're in such a dominant position here. Up a dozen vills. Ooh, Stone Gate comes down just in the nick of time, and the GG is called. Well played by the Nameless, and they take game number 1. Trash Master, especially putting on a really impressive performance in that game. Take a quick look at the stats here. Yeah, Lascaris actually with a pretty nice KD there. Probably a lot of that came toward the end there, diving on the villagers under the TC. And economically, yeah, Chidwick, we were complimenting him on the boom, but Trash Master with a really nice boom and a boom tailor-made for archer production. Almost 10k wood, 8k gold, and was even ready to follow up with a castle as well. So yeah, Trash Master in a great spot there. Very nice macro behind his solid archer production. All right. To game number 2 we turn. And what did we have there? So we had Berbers and that was Mayans, right? Up against Sicilians and Ethiopians. Okay, so we'll now go to the home map for MCM. So that'll be Scandinavia or Team Islands. And it looks like Scandinavia was chosen for game number 2. Let's go. Scandinavia, game 2. Semifinals. The Nameless 2 wins away from advancing to the finals, but they will have their work cut out for them in this game. Home map for MCM, so they surely have a plan cooked up. And they've got some pretty nice civs here. Mongols, spectacular on this map. Not hard to see why. You've got Hunt in abundance, 3 boar as well to start with. And Mr. F4 will be teamed up with Chidwick as the Franks. On the other side, Lascaris playing as Byzantines and Trashmaster playing as the Magyars. So one thing to note is that teammates are working on opposite shorelines. So some generations you'll have the 2 teammates sharing a water line. In some generations they will be on opposite water lines. I think most likely what we're going to see here is Mr. F4 dock on the south, Chidwick dock on the north. We'll probably have the same from Trashmaster and Lascaris, and then players that'll have a choice whether to contest water or not. But there's a lot of fish here. A lot of good deep fish, so generally worth it to contest water unless you've got really good reason not to. Alright, Scandinavia also because of how wallable it is with the thick woodlines, FC builds are very, very popular. Team walls are also pretty popular on Scandinavia, but this generation here, not really team wallable. So the players aren't super close to each other, but even more awkward is they're not really parallel to each other, right? Chidwick is a lot more further forward than Mr. F4, and Lascaris is very far forward compared to Trashmaster. So I think we'll probably see the players go for smaller individual walls. And then, yeah, the big questions are who contests water? Do we see feudal action? Do we see fast castle? And then if you're Byzantines, what are you going here? Are you going expo push in castle age? Are you trying to do a fast imp play into arbalist and bombards? I'll be very curious to see what the call is there. All right, Trashmaster, or sorry, Lascaris. How's there for a bit? Actually, how's kind of badly. Dock down for Lascaris. It's so hard to see with the gray. First dock will be coming down for MCM. Chidwick going on this side, and now the question is, where does Mr. F4 go for his dock? Does he go to the north? Does he go to the south? Hasn't sent a villager out yet. So perhaps is just thinking about using that food to get to Castle Age really, really quickly and not spending the wood on fish. At the same time, though, Trashmaster hasn't gone to water either. So maybe, yeah, not sure what the reason is for that. Maybe it's part of the strategy. Maybe it's unintentional. Maybe they're just waiting because of the abundance of food. One fishing ship out for Chidwick, 2 for Lascaris. And Lascaris beginning the process of walling up here. He gets a good bit of HP off of Mr. F4's scout. Certainly more than enough to prevent F4 from laming that boar. Lascaris will get the boar in safely. All right, still no dock from red or green. And yeah, there's our question about how these players are going to wall answered. Chidwick going for the egg walls. And it looks to me like Mr. F4 will be planning to do the same. Likewise for Lascaris, he's presumably going to wall all the way back around to this shoreline. 3 fishing ships out for him. And all right, here comes Trashmaster. He will dock on the north. And he's on the way up. 20 pop uptime. So we're going to see... Are we going to see feudal aggression here from Trashmaster? Is he going to go open with some scouts? 20 pop as well for the Mongols player, who has a barracks. This is looking to me like scouts. I think we're going to see scouts here for both green and red. As for Chidwick, I think Chidwick, well, doesn't have the res for Fast Castle. I think he might be... Yeah, scouts coming down for the Mongols player, which suggests to me that he's thinking of going Mangudai pretty early in Castle Age. And yeah, Chidwick must be trying to fast castle this. But he doesn't have the res for it. He doesn't have anyone on gold. I'm not actually sure what to build it. Oh, maybe he just wants to contest water. That must be the focus here. Although still, you'd want to have some folks on gold. We'll keep an eye on that. All right, that stable's up. Scouts are already being produced here, and those scouts should be able to get in here on Lascaris before the scouts are out. Trashmaster Scout is now trapped inside of Chidwick's base. So there won't be any damage to be had there. Let's see if Trashmaster is able to get inside of this eco, which is open. But here come the scouts. Lascaris in danger of losing a Vil. This Wallingville, she's going to head up here. Interesting. Why are the scouts not pathing that way? Okay, they're actually going to head for Trashmaster. So it's fortunate for Lascaris. So that Vil... Where'd it go? Where'd it go? She'll survive. The scouts actually are turning back around. They are heading for Lascaris after all. So right now, Mr. F4 just getting some scouting intel. There's no barracks down, though, for Lascaris, and he's wide open. Yeah. I mean, with that uptime, probably should have realized scouts were probably coming in. And if you're not going to have the walls up, you need to have a barracks so you can get some spears out. And now Lascaris is going to have to defend himself entirely with quick walls. These are some nice quick walls, though. If you can get another one in this gap, which it looks like, yes, nicely done. All right, so managing to really mitigate the damage here. Might even be able to get the Vils trapped. Oh no, he's got two Vils down here that were shore fishing. Those Vils will go down. No one contesting water yet. And let's see if Lascaris drops a barracks here. Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble. A lot of idle time with this eco. All right, Trashmaster to the rescue, though. Bring in 3 scouts of his own in. We'll be able to clear these. Might be able to kill one more Vil. Nah, she'll be fine. All right, so they get to clean. And fire's out for Trashmaster. It's nicely done and only made 1. That was really smart. No sense making more. Well, I mean, maybe make 2 initially. But he's going to at least force a reaction here from Chidwick. And actually, Trashmaster never invested in fish at all. So, yeah, maybe wants to take control of water before he invests into the fish. No one up to Castle Age quite yet. Chidwick just needs a little bit more gold. Everyone actually is pretty close. So I think we're going to have pretty comparable Castle Age times from all these players. And at the moment, the Vil count isn't that different. Look at this. Mr. F4 with an archer follow-up. Scouts into archers. So playing this... Yeah, going full one-on-one style. And yeah, so now he's got the 2 buildings he's going to need to invest into the Mangudai. Got the stable for bloodlines and husbandry. He's got the range for thumb ring. And depending on how many archers he invests in, might even be worth investing into Expo come Castle Age. Chidwick, the first to click up. And we are going to see Frank Knights, no surprise there. Though his food eco is a little bit limited at the moment. I think we probably see him just go one stable for now. Yeah, Lascaris, man. Floating a lot of res, just didn't have his 2 buildings. Oh no, and he's open! No. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. I thought he was going to have plenty of time to deal with this, but he will not. And now how does he react? He's on stone, so he could afford a tower here, but does he have the time for a tower? And where does he drop one? I mean, this is open here. Do you just drop a tower like right there, maybe? Trashmaster continuing to clean up the fish over here. Okay, actually we're going to have 2 stable production here for Chidwick. So he'll probably stay 1 TC for a little bit so he can produce those knights. And the Nameless. Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say, how did they get a 9 vill advantage? But it's, yeah, that's primarily a factor of the uptime. Plus wheelbarrow for Mr. F4. Alright, Trashmaster is up. How does he react here? Looks like he's going at 2 stable knights as well. A lot of fish out on the water there for Lascaris. So yeah, Lascaris, man, he's gonna get up and he'll be able to go to Imperial Age quite quickly here. But he's got to survive this initial push from Mr. F4, who's getting a bodkin. I think will try to tech into Expo. Yeah, he invested in more archers. Definitely is going to go Expo. Yep, there it is, 20 seconds out. Ooh, man, I don't know if Lascaris can... he's going to have to hold here long enough for him to get some defense out. Definitely looking like fast int to me. A little short on the food, though. And of course, he's going to need those 2 production buildings. MCM just has so much more military in the field right now. Expo on this side of Lascaris, Expo on the backside, so he's completely pinned in, and the Expo are in. They're going to be on the gold. Oh no, and they can get in on this wood line. This is looking really bad for Lascaris right now. This is looking really bad for Lascaris right now. His eco is just completely idled at this point. And this is a great decision by Mr. F4. The only source of food for Lascaris right now is the fish. Mr. F4 realizes that, sends out a fire. That's a great call there. Alright, looks like Trashmaster will be able to get the clean here on Mr. F4's Expo. He's got the +2 armor. And it looks like the 2 Cav players, pretty comparable economies right now. 2 TCs apiece. Oh, actually, third one here for Chidwick. Alright, over here though, Lascaris getting the Expo out. Yeah, so that I think the dreams of a fast in play are pretty dead here. And actually invested in the War Galley upgrade and 3 fires. 4 fires. 5 fires. So I think maybe an overinvestment. Probably thought Mr. F4 had more over here than he did. Probably surprised to find that there weren't any fishing ships. Ooh, and we're also seeing a Cav Archer switch here for F4, who denies the tower. So Lascaris now off of stone. Yeah, his eco is not in a good spot here, although he has kept these fishing ships alive. They're pretty inefficient at this point, but still bringing in a lot of food for him. But here comes trouble. Here comes big trouble. A lot of knights coming in. And those knights are more than happy to dive under the TCs. Nice house walls there. That will buy him a bit of time. Oh no. Oh, disaster. Knights are in on that wood line. Archers denying this tower. This is a slaughter. Yeah, this is probably the game here. 30 Vil advantage all of a sudden for MCM. Military advantage as well. Did have a nice clear here from Trashmaster. Looks like he got a jump on the CA of Lascaris's, but or pardon me, on F4's Cav Archers. Lascaris, he basically has no eco left. He's got the fishing ships and then the Vils that are in the town center and the tower. Everything else is dead. Yeah, I just don't see how you come back from this. Oh man, yeah, and Lascar is so close to being able to pull off a pretty sick fast-in build there with Byzantines. I mean, honestly, if he had been walled just a little sooner so those initial scouts didn't get in, this probably looks very differently, because those initial scouts really slowed Lascaris' castle time down. And I think he's probably able to defend against the feudal archer pressure a lot better if he hadn't taken that early scout damage. Alright, let's take stock. Where are we at? 45 Vil advantage for MCM. And yeah, they look like they are in a super dominant position. Trashmaster just now adding his third town center, but he's about 20 Vils behind Mr. F4, who's having a heck of a game. Really nice boom back here. Isn't very heavy on stone yet, actually, so it's going to actually go CA instead of Mangadai. I kind of like this call here. 4 range Cav Archer. And yeah, especially if you go with a siege follow-up here. Oh no, he has the stone. So he's gonna drop a castle. Yeah, that's a great spot. Right on that gold. Here though, the CA are not in on the action, so that was a pretty good fight for the Nameless, about as good as they can hope for at this juncture. They do have a military advantage, not a huge one. Trying their best to deny this castle. I don't think they're going to be able to do it, though. Not enough numbers here. Yeah, that castle goes up, no doubt about it. He said confidently. Alright, castle is up. Trashmaster continuing to produce the best he can. Only 4 Vils behind his Cav counterpart. The big difference here is just the Mongols player. Mongols player at 94 Vils now. Screaming economy. With a little bit better of a food economy. I think Mr. F4 will be able to get up to Imperial Age. Knights duking it out over here. Slight advantage at the moment for Chidwick. And it'll be a massive advantage now that the CA are getting in the action. It's 24, so the CA are now getting into the scary numbers. Where, as the Knights player, you just can't really ever take a good fight. And there's so many choke points on a map like this, right? You can duck the CA in places like that. It's just really, really hard as the Knights player to ever engage when you're up against a massive CA. Chidwick will add a forward castle as well. Although I think with the military numbers, you could have been even more aggressive. Just get one up on top of this hill. Alright. So I think, yeah, we just wait for the Imperial Age follow-up and the siege. And this one is probably over with. 50 Vil advantage. The CA will now start raiding Trashmaster's base. And like I said, there's just nothing he can do to deal with this mass. Cannot engage with it with his knights. Imperial Age has been clicked for Mr. F4. Trashmaster coming back with the Knights. But again, these Cav Archer, they can just micro those Knights down all day unless they get trapped here. Trashmaster going for a trap here. This is actually really nicely done on his part. Although the villagers just get stuck in there. Massacred down. Yeah, and what did I say about choke points? There you have it. And on the other end, the Knights all up in Trashmaster's eco. This is probably going to be a GG before anyone even gets to Imperial Age. Over on this side, CA continuing to push against the Byzantines player, who still doesn't have access to any food besides some really long-range fishing. Yes, total and brutal domination, as Mem would say. MCM in a great position, and they're being careful here not to throw the game away. Not overextending. Trashmaster getting the defensive castle down, but that won't do him much good because Imperial Age only a minute 15 seconds away for Chidwick, and with it, Trebuchets. All right, Lascaris trying to move forward and engage the CA. Doesn't have great numbers. Doesn't have ballistics either. Mr. F4 does. Oof. Oof. Doughty Castle. Doubt Town Center at 78% here. Imperial Age is in. Haven't seen the GG yet. There it is. Okay. GG is called. Very, very well played by MCM. Mr. F4 with that early pressure on the Byzantines player. That made all the difference. Scouts getting in initially in here, creating some havoc, buying some time, really messing up Lascaris' build. You could see how much floating gold he ended up floating because he didn't have his 2 requisite buildings. The Archer follow-up, those Archers getting in, pressuring from this side, pressuring from that side, and then that eventually snowballed into the raid that eventually just wiped out all of Lascaris' economy. And like I said, I think if those scouts don't get in initially, this might have been a very, very different game, but everything kind of snowballed from that initial push. All right. Quick look at the stats here. Trashmaster actually with a positive KD. So despite fighting against better compositions most of the time, it looks like he managed to take some pretty good fights there. Chidwick and Mr. F4 with clearly superior economies there. Very nice macro behind the pressure for Mr. F4. And of course, Imperial Age a long ways off for the Nameless. All right. Scandinavia. So what did we have there? We had Franks and Mongols over here for the for MCM. Trashmaster, they lost with Magyars and Byzantines. All right, so that takes us to Arena. Arena, the home map for the Nameless. Let's see what we have for Civs. All right, MCM tying the series up 1 game apiece. We got Mr. F4 here playing as the Saracens. So Saracens will not be used for Team Islands. They will be played here on Arena and teamed up with Chidwick as the Teutons. On the other side, Bohemians and Cumans. So yeah, I was thinking Cumans probably would be for African clearing. Nope, they will be here for Arena, presumably a 2TC boom. Of course, we could see some fun Feudal Age Ram shenanigans. Fingers crossed. I always like a good shenanigan. And Bohemians. Well, Bohemians are perhaps the most shenanigan-y of the Arena Age civs. Clowns love them. Non-clowns hate them. I think I've gotten wrecked by Bohemians twice in this tournament on Arena. Once to Castle Age hand cannons and once to Castle Age Siege Monk push. And man, yeah, Siege Monks from Bohemians. Tough to deal with. So let's see what Trashmaster goes for. Is he going to play? Because you kind of got what? I sort of think of Bohemians having three main strategies on this map. There's the hand cannon, like chemistry hand cannon, pressure and Castle Age, your Monk Siege push, or you play it for the long game. You try to boom out and get to the dreaded Hoofknees Halb combination. We'll see what Trashmaster opts for. Saracens. Interested in the Saracens pick. What will F4 go for with Saracens? Was this going to be Castle Age aggression, taking use of the Expo bonus, or is this something where you boom it out and try to get into Mamelukes? That'd be the Mimi strategy. But we shall see. And as for Teutons, well, there's really the two main paths I see there. There's Teutons have an incredible boom with the cheaper farms, so you could just go for a nasty boom, or you go for Castle Age Knight aggression, which maybe is the thought here. Pair Castle Age Knights with Castle Age Expo, take advantage of the, like I said, the building attack bonus with the Expo to break through and cause some havoc in the economy. And Cumans they're a pretty weak civ for defending against something like that, because they can't build secondary stone walls. They don't, I don't think they have access to guard tower either. So they're forced to defend from a push like that with house walls and military. But if you're going for 2 TC, you're not going to have military on the field typically until, something like 21 minutes. So we shall see. Fast forward here a little bit briefly, just till we get to up into Feudal Age. All right, look at this though. 20 pop-up time, so that definitely confirms the 2 TC play for Cumans. So if we do see Rams, it's not going to be right off the rip. And we have 23 pop for the Teutons player. It's not obvious to me what that suggests. I lean a little more. Yeah, a barracks though. So this is going to be Knights. This isn't going to be the full boomy approach. Stable coming down. A little short on the wood. Okay, wood comes in. Getting the blacksmith now. Slow this down here for a bit. 27 pop for Bohemians, so that makes me think hand cannons. When I've seen people do the hand cannon build, they tend to go to Feudal Age a bit slower. I think that's what we're looking at here. All right, on stone. Saracens player on stone. So, Mamelukes? I hope so. Don't get to see Mamelukes very often, so always excited when we do. Mamelukes, though, up against whatever. We're probably going to see Cav from the Cumans player, hand cannons. I have no idea how Mamelukes match up against hand cannons. I can't say I've ever played with that, either one of those two units against the other. Alright, Lascaris attempting to run down Chidwick's scout. He has wounded it. But, okay. It's going to be one stable Knights, I think, for Chidwick. He'll continue dropping a few more farms, get some more vills to gold, and then add that second TC, maybe a minute or two into Castle Age. Barracks coming down here from Mr. F4. What's the thought with I mean, must just want that as the prerequisite to be able to get the relevant upgrades from the stable. And yeah, there we go. Archery range coming down. We'll see a few more of those from Trashmaster. This is going to be fast chemistry into hand cannons for Trash. Again, apologies for, I'm sure there's lots of background noise. I am in a hotel room driving across the U.S. Casted last night from Amarillo, Texas, and I've made it into just across the Mississippi River into southern Illinois. So I'm in a little town in southern Illinois tonight in one of the most uncomfortable chairs I think I've ever sat in. I had back surgery a couple years ago, so I'm turned into a real chair snob. Alas, what can you do? All right, to the action. Look at this.
Nom.
Got ourselves a castle drop. So we are going to get Mamelukes right on top of the Cumans. And yeah, Cumans, like I said, not a great defensive civ for something like this. Knights will be in on the action as well. Snow Leopards joining in the fun too. How's the castle location? So it cuts off that gold. It's also going to just about cut off that gold as well. So that's going to leave only one gold and one stone safe for Lascaris. Doesn't have anyone on stone right now, so can't really think about a counter castle. Lascaris has clicked up. Alright, what's the state of the... Oh, interesting, okay. So, this isn't hand cannons. So we're actually getting monks on the field. Double monastery monks. But, yeah, what do you do here if you're Trashmaster? You don't have any siege forward yet. I feel like the time is... You're really, really on a clock right now. I think with the usual siege monk push, the monasteries and the siege workshops would be out front, already cranking right now. So it looks almost like Trashmaster's playing this one a bit more defensively. I don't know how he gets over here to try to help his buddy. I mean, look at the gates already down. Cumans are so bad at defending. Oh, this is not looking great right now for Lascaris.
Nom.
Alright, he's got vills to spare, of course. And, what do we got? 2 TC here for Saracens, 1 TC for the Teutons player. But now these knights can just dive in here. They do have +1 armor. They're going to get some vill kills here, so a couple vills going down there. The food eco is going to be idled here. There's no military production buildings right now for Lascaris. Going to get a 3rd TC here, but how do you defend once siege follows up? You have no military in the field. All Trashmaster can send right now are a bunch of monks. Alright, chemistry on the way. So, I think Trashmaster is thinking, I guess, about going into hand cannon. Has 2 ranges. But I just don't see help getting here in time. There's the siege workshop we talked about. And, yeah. I mean, MCM's got the military numbers to protect the mangonels once they pop. And, yeah. That clock's ticking quickly. It's just a matter of time before the siege chews through all of the economy here. It'd be one thing if Trashmaster was making a push here. But he's kind of playing this halfway between an economic approach and a military approach. And I mean, yeah. I like MCM's position a lot right now. Alright, defensive mangonel here for Lascaris. I think that's the right call. Of course, MCM's got the military to clean it up if they notice it. Ooh, just about gets the kill. 2 HP on the mangonel. That's unfortunate because now Chidwick knows the mangoes are there. He's going to jump in, clean that mangonel just before the Vills get there to repair it. And now things are starting to melt. Some monks out. Unfortunately for Trashmaster, he is dealing with Teuton Knights here. So a little harder to convert. Be nice to get one of those, yeah, grabs one of those quickly. And they're actually pretty nice against Siege. See if you can get a mangonel. Oh, not quite. Second castle coming down. Oh boy. Yeah, Lascaris, man. I've been in your shoes plenty of times. I feel like every time I play Kumins in a 2v2, this is what happens to me. A lot of siege on the field. Yeah. And I think the only win condition right now is for there to be some kind of base trade, but Trashmaster doesn't have any way to get in here and clean this right now. Doesn't have siege on the field. Doesn't really have a huge mass of hand cannons. The score is quite deceptive here. It's bouncing back and forth, but I think this is MCM's game. I do not really see. Yeah, I don't see a win condition right now for the Nameless. It'd be one thing if Trashy had just a sick boom going at home. He's on 61 Vills. Mr. F4 with more Vills than that, despite all of this aggression and military production. Lascaris, he's not even gonna be able to escape with a villager. He's gonna be freaking defeated here. Ooh, all right, he's got a mango. Can he get a nice 2-for-1 shot here? Oh, nice one. Good shot. Only takes one mango there. Grabs a second. Really nicely done. That mango's weak as well. Bought himself a little bit of time. Hand cannons, monks trying to get in here, but there's 2 castles now, so the amount of real estate for Trashmaster to work in is pretty limited. Push continuing. The noose is tightening. Lascaris, he's pinned in this tiny little area. This is all he has left in the world. Trashmaster here to save the day, but yeah, it's gonna be too little too late. Imperial Age in the cards for F4. He's got the res, he's got the castle. Actually, surprised he hasn't clicked up yet. Alright, there he goes. He is on the way. Chidwick, honestly, not that far himself. He idles the night production for a bit. He'll be able to go up. Trashmaster with some market abuse could go up as well. And as for Lascaris, well, he's down to 49 bills. What's the military right now look like for Trashmaster? Yeah, it's all right here. So he could slip in here to try to protect his teammates. To protect his teammate. There's not a lot to protect anymore. Lascaris is kind of out of this game. Yeah, Chidwick switching into boom mode now. I think it's definitely the right call. You've done the damage. Trashmaster on his way up. And he is Bohemians. The Hoof Nice is, like, you know, maybe the best unit in the game. Well, second best. Mangadai. Mangadai still rule the roost. But, yeah. I mean, maybe if he has the economy to go Hoof Nice Halb, he could push through and clean Chidwick's base really quickly. But, hard to see it happening. Mr. F4's got a good economy behind this. Alright, Lascaris finally has enough stone for a castle. He's going to get a castle there to try to slow the bleeding. Oh, a lot of hand cannons went down there. It looked like to a mango shot. So now there's nothing in here. Alright, this castle will buy, well, not much time at all, because Trebs are coming. 3 of them, in fact. So the end is near here for Lascaris. I think, yeah, if Trashmaster's any of those monks still around, they should probably read Lascaris' last rites. Let's see what Trashmaster can do. He's got a good economy. He's about to hit Imperial Age. What does he tech into here? Does he stick with the hand cannons? Those hand cannons going down. The Knights taking a decent trade here, though. The Mamelukes were out of position. So those Knights will be cleaned, but here come the Mamelukes. Mamelukes shred all. Mamelukes shred all. Alright, so we actually have a lot of monk techs coming in for Trashmaster. See, he wants to commit to the monks. And, yep, adding more ranges, committing to the hand cannon monk composition. So that will be what he sticks with. 3 siege workshops, though. So you don't go 3 siege workshops, I don't think, here, unless you are trying to get to Hoofnice. But, man, Hoofnice is too expensive. And this castle seems highly aggressive when there's all these trebuchets on the field. Lascaris, 35 vills. In fact, I don't know how he has 35 vills. Alright, there they are, making a run for it. Got a few back here. A few were in hiding in the woods. Can any escape? It's Knight blocking the path. They'll get at least one out, but now Trashmaster's castle will be revealed to all. The Trebs will turn their wrath on the castle. I think very soon here. Alright, here comes the first bombard for Trashmaster on the field. Hoofnice! There it is. Hoofnice. One of the most frustrating units to play against, and one of the most fun units to play with. It's gonna be a lot of dead vills here for Trashy, though. And yeah, the Trebs, they're gonna make quick work of that castle. Oh no, that Treb and that Bombard, though, not in good position. These are gonna get shreked by the Mamelukes. Yeah, Trashmaster just doesn't have the military right now to deal with this. These vills are not sure what they're doing. Serving as meat shields, apparently. Bullet sponges. Diving in there. And the siege is gone. Yeah. This one's super over. Ooh, the Hoofnice, though, could they land a couple good shots here? No, they're just rolling in a dangerous way. No, the investment. Oh, that is so much gold. So much gold. Cavalier. Teuton Cavalier rolling in. G to the G. And it's a nice Nice economy back at home for Trashmaster. Yeah, clearly a good eco because he's able to just keep pumping out Cliffinies to send them to their deaths. Nothing to defend these with. Yeah, I think maybe Howled Cliffinies would have been the better combo. But the Hoof Nice, no, they just keep popping into death. Such a beautiful unit. Sent to an early grave. The GG is called. Game number 3 goes to MCM. Domination. Domination, yeah. That Kuman TTC boom is definitely vulnerable to that early castle aggression. And, yeah, I think that was a play where you just can't really do the double. Like both players for Nameless going with the greedy approach just didn't work out. I think it maybe if, as I said before, Trashmaster had been super aggressive, I'd gone with like a Siege Monk push or a hand cannon siege push on Chidwick. Maybe then you would have just had a base trade situation. And that would have put the two teams on equal footing. But this was a case where Trashmaster went kind of with an eco-heavy approach, and Lascaris went with the eco-heavy approach, and that just makes the Kuman player so vulnerable to getting 2v1'd as he was there. Alright, so this will put MCM in position to put the set away, and to advance to the finals they need one more win. So the next game here will go to the Nameless's second home map. And what do we have left for Civs? So we just saw Saracens and Teutons. And on the other side we saw Kumans and Bohemians. So the next map we've got African Clearing. Oh no. Oh, fingers crossed this doesn't bug out, please. Please, devs, please let this work for us. All right, so let's just jump in. Here we go. Game number 4. MCM with a chance to seal their path to the finals. What do we have for Civs? Koreans. Mr. F4 going for Koreans. He'll be dropping his TC down here in the southern corner. Teamed up with Chidwick as the Spanish. He'll be dropping his TC here very close to Lascaris, our Indians player. And Trashmaster playing as the Chinese. And yeah, I kind of like this spot for the Spanish player, right? Because you're looking at early conk aggression, and you're going to have a very short distance to travel to get to your opponent, Indians. Plenty of safe stone and gold here for Chidwick to make use of, and perhaps can deny these pawns for Lascaris, right? That would probably force Lascaris out to these pawns, which would then make those vills extremely vulnerable to the conquistador aggression. I mean, we might even see scouts from the Spanish player. We've seen that sometimes in African Clearing. Spanish players go scouts and then transition into conks. Have a little bit better eco when you get up to the conks, and also have a stable already out for the relevant upgrades. Korean's player being all the way back here, presumably is just going to opt to boom this one out in Castle Age. On the other side, Trashmaster and Lascaris. I mean, one nice thing about being close here is it'll be pretty easy for them to get their two armies together. So I'm guessing Chinese are going to go into Expo here. Although, man, maybe just go straight into Chukanu. It would be a bit aggressive and maybe too greedy when you have Spanish breathing down your necks, but it's a possibility. Chukanu, do pretty well against conks. And I mean, they don't do well against war wagons, but they at least do better than regular Expo. All right, I'm gonna fast forward here a little bit, just on 4 times speed, until our players click up. Keep an eye on the expansion here. Mr. F4 already moving out to mill some additional pawns. Lascaris going out to this pond. I think a mill here would have been a little better. Try to get the mill between the pawns, but it's easy to be picky when you're the eye in the sky with full omniscience. Alright, I'll be curious to see when Lascaris notices Chidwick here. Chidwick, I'm actually surprised, hasn't moved out to any of these additional pawns. Nearly loses a Ville to the elephant. Had to do the de-aggro house trick. And look at this. Trashmaster and Lascaris both going up really quickly. Lascaris going up with 18 pop. Trashmaster with 20 pop. So this is going to be feudal age aggression. And if they know, do they know? Do they know? Let's see. Who are we looking at? Lascaris' point of view. Yeah. He hasn't spotted the TC, but he's noticed that house at least. Feudal aggression here against the Spanish player could be pretty great because the Koreans player, he's way too far away to help. So even if he's able to get to Castle Age quickly and get a boom going, if you can clear out the Spanish player, you can then just focus all your attention onto the Koreans player. Wall's going up really early here for Chidwick, which is probably the right call, given that he's almost certainly facing aggression. I don't think he realized they had already clicked up. Certainly does now. But that's the follow. Barracks is a bit late there for Trashmaster. Got a couple on gold, so I think it's going to be feudal archers from Trashmaster, and presumably a stable here from, Lascaris. Thing is, Chidwick's fully walled here. I suppose they can break in down here, try to harass woodlines, break in up here. But a lot of the eco is tucked in very safely to the TC, and there is this safe gold and safe stone back there. Alright, yeah, Mr. F4, yeah, looking like an FC build here. And then he's going to work his way. Is he going to go Expo? Not on stone yet. So maybe he's not going to go straight into War Wagons. Maybe he's going to open Expo. It will be a long commute for the Expo. But then again, he'll certainly be up before his opponents. Time is really crucial here for the Nameless. I think they need to get this aggression going quickly. At the moment, yeah, it's a little slower than I'd like. The first archer just now coming out at 14 minutes. That's definitely my worry here, is that this aggression is too late, and Chidwick has already bought himself a lot of time with these walls. And, of course, he can always drop at least one counter tower. You know, if they break in up here, you just get a counter tower there. They break in on this side, you could have a counter tower here. Actually, Chidwick will be the first to click the Castle Age. Yeah, Mr. F4. Maybe I was looking at the resources wrong. I thought he almost had the res to click up.
Monday?
Nameless working on breaking through. This house is going down, but there is space above the house, right? You can walk along that shoreline. Same thing with that blacksmith. Okay, that palisade will seal it. So nice defense by Chidwick, just continuing to buy himself time. And look at this. Archers and spears moving out for Mr. F4. So I guess that's why he wasn't able to click up to Castle Age invested in the military. But Chidwick, despite all of the walling, he'll be the first to go up. And he'll be safe here. He's fine. He's got vills on stone, so he can afford to invest in stone wall defense. This is really, yeah, it's been very, very nice defense here by Chidwick. And yet we can see his intentions for the future. Conquistadors are in the cards. Ooh, look at this push though. Lascaris losing vills to the archers. 2 vills down. A lot of spears in the mix. A lot of exposed eco here for Lascaris. Right, he's Indians, wants to take advantage of that shore fishing bonus, but he's got to be careful here. The archers are heading that way. Okay, I think they won't spot him. They're heading the opposite direction. Fortunate for Lascaris. Castle Age still not on the way for any of the other players, so yeah, Conks are going to rule the roost here for a little bit. Trashmaster getting that market down. He'll be clicking up here very soon. Lascaris not too far off, although he his food income's a bit awkward now. All right, here we go. Castle Age on the way for Trashmaster. These archers moving forward again for Mr. F4. This is still just scaring the hell out of me. These completely exposed villas here out in the wilderness. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh, this is not going to be good for Lascaris. He needs that food so badly to go up. Disaster. Disaster. Oh no. Alright. Bunch of vills going down there though. The Nameless. 1 vill behind. But Conks, man. They're about to be out. And they're about to be out against feudal units. And they will shred these dudes. Yeah, Mr. F4 has done a great job with these archers, gotten in. He's got a lot of ill kills with him and has managed to lose basically none. Every time Trashmaster rolls in with a bigger army, Mr. F4 falls back. And the distance is so great that by the time you get back, you're always going to have better numbers because of the reinforcements waiting for you. Alright, where's the conch production though? Alright, 1 conch out. If you're Chidwick here, you got to be aggressive. Time's of the essence. Trashmaster's up now, so he'll have access to Expo here very, very soon. Can he get some damage in on Mr. F4 with the Expo? Let's see. Mr. F4 immediately starts dropping defensive towers, dropping 1 here and up here. Great reaction and great timing. That tower will be up perfectly timed. Another one. So he's got all that stone because he wanted to go into war wagons. But guess what? Free guard tower, baby. Yeah, these crossbow aren't going to be able to do a darn thing. That tower doesn't go up in time. And where are the conchs? Show yourselves. Yes. Abusing Lascaris again, man. Lascaris has been the suffering the brunt of the aggression the last 3 games. Saw it in Scandinavia, saw it in Arabia. In Arena. Seen it again here. Yeah, this will be a clean for F4. He'll have Expo here very soon. Guard tower getting its fair share of kills. Yeah, you're going to be super happy with this if you're Mr. F4. And look at the timing. Comes in right when Expo arrives. That is a clean, folks. Alright, let's see what the conks are up to.
准备就绪.
Trashmaster does have a decent amount of expo here to defend his teammate. And especially if he can manage to get to ballistics, then he's going to have some pretty good defensive options against the conks. And Chidwick adding in a second and third town center. So he'll have a nice economy. Second town center coming down for Lascaris. Second as well for Mr. F4. And a second and third for Trashmaster. So no all-in plays from any of the players here. Everyone going for the balanced approach. At the moment, not really a massive advantage for anybody. There's a 6-field advantage for MCM, but that's a negligible difference.
Yeah.
Here, though, got even expo numbers. There's extra armor with Mr. F4, though. Armor just now coming in for Lascaris. Or, pardon me, for Trashmaster. But the worry is Lascaris doesn't have military on the field yet. His food eco suffered, and so that combo there is definitely going to beat that combo there. That's some exposed gold, so if Trashmaster loses those units, he's going to get pushed away from that gold, which will be a problem for him. Trying to get the university, he realizes, I need ballistics. I got to deal with these conks. I can't deal with them without ballistics. His archers are out of position, though, so the conks are getting in here, denying the university, pushing the villas off gold. Trashmaster has a monk, hoping for conversion there. I don't think he's going to get one. And Mr. F4 again just leading these expo all around the place. Castle coming down, so here comes the war wagon switch, and those camels from Lascaris are going to be much needed here pretty soon because expo up against war wagon doesn't go so hot. Alright, the Vil number's almost identical, so the booms are very similar behind all this. 2 players with 3 town centers, 2 players with 2 town centers. A 4th town center coming down here for Trashmaster. And ballistics as well. I like that castle from Chidwick. Gaining some access to some important real estate. I mean, it'd be great to have it a little further forward, but I think they probably don't. They're not sure about how large their opponent's military is. I think if they were aware of the advantage they have, you just get it right up here. You range that, you range that. But in any case, it'll provide a nice foothold for some more aggression. Lascaris definitely running into some issues with expanding the economy here. He's sort of been walled out by Trashmaster. And yeah, this is starting to look scary. War Wagon, Expo, and Conk. Yeah, this is going to get a little tough to deal with. Mr. F4 thinking about a second castle as well. Where will he put that one? I think there you'd probably try to start getting some control of the middle of the map. A castle here would be pretty nice. Maybe one up here. You could be a little more aggressive. Ooh. Yeah, Nameless might be able to get the surround here, but nope. Conks are there. Yeah, I mean, if someone falls asleep at the wheel for just a little bit, there could be a game changing engagement here, but at the moment things are pretty neck and neck. Even ecos, even militaries, everyone's just kind of jockeying for the slightest edge right now. Ooh, there's the second castle. So yeah, they're definitely looking to press the action here. This is nice by Mr. F4. Takes a small group just to explore the map, be a pest. And Trashmaster doesn't have a mobile army, so he's got no way to go back and deal with this. They're trying to get the surround on the conks, but the conks have this castle here to keep them safe. And Chidwick, yeah, he'll run out when he has a chance and fall back under the protection of the castle when that's not available. But yeah, I'm loving this. This is a great play by Mr. F4. But yeah, a pretty defensive-oriented game at the moment. Players are just jockeying for map control. But the presence of all these castles for MCM and, you know, this double unique unit composition, I think I prefer it. There are good camel numbers here, though. But again, with the castles, you just can't really... It lets MCM be a lot more picky about which fights they take and when. And now they're going to try to take advantage of the mobility of the conquistadors, go in and try to raid some of this exposed eco. The camels will give chase, but as soon as the camels move out, the war wagons can move in. There's no castles to stop them. These expo aren't going to be able to engage. I love this play. You draw the camels away, and you let the war wagons move in. And right now, the expo getting a lot of kills there on Lascaris' economy. Now a 12-ville advantage for MCM. Another castle coming down. And man, it's hard to deny. It's Spanish castle, so these things go up. They go up ridiculously quick. All right, there's our first castle from MCM. I like that spot actually a lot. It doesn't protect much eco, so that's a downside. But it's going to provide a nice location to start trebbing your opponent from, if you can get there. But we got a big engagement here. They might actually deny the castle. Expo get in there. 80%. Camel's getting a lot of damage on the... Oof. I say that, but man, Camel's got shreked. The number of conks starting to get pretty scary here. Castle may not have gone up there, but it's going to go up here in short order. I like, yeah, MCM's composition here. Just a better comp. Yeah, and this castle, man. Now this TC's ranged. Some of the farms there are ranged as well. So this castle will be great if Trashmaster can get up to Imperial Age. Also, 2 vills, man. You're gonna need some good luck to not get spotted there and have that one denied. The castle grind continues. Mester F4 and Chidwick just slowly chaining castles forward. Yet another one coming down here. Imperial Age on the way for both Chidwick and Mr. F4, so they're gonna have a mob of castles, a great unique unit composition, and then a crap ton of trebs to follow up behind it. MCM's position, I think, is an awesome one here. You wouldn't tell looking at the bill numbers and military numbers, but the value of these military numbers is so much greater. Trashmaster making the most out of these expo, but he knows he can't really push forward to take any fights. He's just trying to buy enough time for that castle to get finished, which it does. But still no imp for Trashmaster. How do you stop this? I mean, if you could afford it, like, do you think about teching into Elite Skirm? The problem is with the eco that the Spanish player has behind it, he could just get some Light Cav or Hussar out pretty soon. And you would need so many Elite Skirm and all the upgrades for it to have a hope of dealing with these units here. Yeah, plus with access to Bombard Cannon for MCM. No Bombard Cannon for Chinese. Yeah, and Lascaris' eco is just melting at this point. Lascaris only with 59 vills right now. And you can get away with 59 if you're the Archer player. But when you're the Cav player, it's just not going to cut it. This is starting to look like it will be the deciding game. It looks like MCM will be going to the finals. It's not over yet, but it's looking progressively worse and worse for the Nameless. This is a deadly raid here. These conks are just they're gonna kill all those vills. They could even think about trying to drop the town center. And meanwhile on this side, Trashmaster's still working just with these Expo. I think he had hopes of getting to Chukunu, but there's no castles surviving. Chukunu's out of the question. Here's a castle. Does it go up? Yeah, it will go up. But these Expo getting dunked on right now. Yeah, Trashmaster doesn't even try to go for the Arbalist upgrade. What? Oh no, okay, he was going for the Arbalist upgrade. My bad, I was looking at the wrong side. That's really unfortunate because he just lost a huge number of Expo. So, yeah, the castles continuing to drop here for the Nameless. Looking bleak. The newly built castle, that's going down as well. Here comes some Arbalists, but there's only 13 of them. Those will melt under the War Wagon bolts. The Nameless down to 49 vills. Getting a few camels out, but what can you do with castles everywhere? Where are the conks? Okay, up here. Not sure why they're back so defensively here. Maybe there were some raids I didn't notice they were cleaning. Camel's actually getting in, getting a few trebs out. But just delaying the inevitable. There it is. Good game, well played. Good luck next, says Trashmaster. And yeah, I'd like to see the sportsmanship. That was a good set. That was a good set. Nameless taking game one, and then MCM storming back with a vengeance, taking game two on Scandinavia, game three on Arena, closing it out with game four on African Clearing. Take a quick look at the statistics here. Yeah, Mr. F4, man, War Wagons, they shred, especially when they're up against archers, up against Expo. Chidwick again with a really filthy economy behind it. Actually, both the MCM players leading in res collected and with the better Imperial Age time. So, yeah, dominant performance by MCM. Hats off to them. Congratulations, MCM. Looking forward to casting your set in the finals. And to Nameless, thanks for participating in this tournament. Great having you guys. Obviously, Trashmaster. We'll be seeing more of you in the future. For those of you who don't know, Trashmaster, he hosts the AOE League's 1v1 tournament. And so we usually try to alternate the timing of our tournaments so that I can help out with either casting or playing in his tournament and vice versa for mine. So, Trashy, as always, good to have you. And Lascaris, good to have you as well. Well, that will do it for tonight. I need to catch some Z's, get back on the road really early. I've got 13 hours of hard driving ahead of me tomorrow. And yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to cast another game tomorrow night. I got a bunch of work stuff and that conference Friday and over the weekend a bit. But hopefully get back in the saddle maybe on Sunday. And like I said, I'm going to try to cast a couple more of the semifinal sets. Probably get to one or two more. And then I will certainly cast all of the finals games at some point within a week or two of after they've been played. So looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Be well.